We back. We are back. Today I have a deck discussion video for you guys about these Exosisters, the Exosister deck. I have a regional coming up in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Sorry about that. And this is the deck that I want to play. I will be playing. So I'm going to talk about the deck, how I feel about it. I'm going to go for some matchups against like the meta, Megaso K9. What else? What else we be playing? Draco Tail, Branded, and one more, Radiant Typhoon. But if this is the deck I will be playing, this is the list. Plus or minus one card. We'll talk about it. The original was tomorrow, like right tomorrow. This is how I'll be playing. What I'll be playing. But let's go over it real quick. Extra Sister Martha, best monster in your deck. Special summon itself from the hand and Ellis from deck. Does play into Fua, both Fua and Perulia. But all in all, this deck is not bad at all into those. It's very easy to pivot your game plan if you get hit with a Charmy. Not a big deal. Three Ellis, two Stella, and Irene, a Sophia. Three Ichiki Sayori Hime. I know I said that right. Card super good came out in Dude. If you control a monster with 800 attack or defense, which all of your Exo Sisters have 800 defense, you can reveal it in the hand and normal summon it. Not a special summon, very important. Plays around impulse. This card cannot be impulse because it's a normal summon. And then it adds a monster from your hand that has 800 attack or defense. Literally, normal summons searches every card in your deck, every engine monster in your deck. Absolutely custom. It might as well say Exosister Ichiki or Hime. For the spells, 3 packs. This card is a quick play spell, but it's only during the main phase, which kind of sucks. Pay 100, pay 800. Add any Exosister card from deck to hand. Exosister Betrayal, new custom card that just came out in Burst Protocol. And when activated, mandatory add 2 Exosister monsters from your deck to your hand and discard a card. If your opponent sends a monster to the graveyard, you can on resolution you can make them banish it, and then that can trigger your baby Exo Sisters to go into your extra deck Exo Sisters, which is super good. And then you get your extra normal summon. You can target an Exo Sister monster you control, and normal summon the monster that is mentioned on it. So, for example, if I have Sophia on board, I can Betrayal target it, and then normal summon Irene from my hand. So, super good. Next, couple some non-engine spells. We have 2 Fallen the Virtuous. This is just simply one of the basic cards in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. And if your deck can facilitate it, which a lot of decks can, I think you should be playing it. Just spot removal that replaces itself with another copy of itself. Good going first, good going second. The first time you dump Albion, will search your second one, and then the second time you dump Ecclesia, which can put the Albion in itself back and a card on your opponent controls, a card on your opponent's field, shuffle them all back into the deck. So super good. This is when I said I'm going to play 40 or 41 cards. This is card number 41. This is the card I'm testing out right now. This is Exosister Armament. You target the Exosister you control, and then slap a Xyz monster on it with a different name than the Xyz monsters you control. I'm testing it out. It's been okay. I don't know if I'm gonna play it at the regional. I just kind of wanted a way to get to my disruptions quicker, I should say, and this is a good way to do it. So I'm testing it out right now. Engine traps. We have one Returnia, which is a pay 100 target a card on the field or in the graveyard, and banish it, and you get a bonus effect. You can either XC summon using extra system monsters you control, or if you've already XC summoned this turn, you can banish another card from the field non-targeting. Exosister Vadis, very, very good card. This one special summons 2 Exosister monsters from your deck that mention each other. And by paying 100 life points, you use this in conjunction with Betrayal. If you make them banish, you chain Vadis to trigger your guys. You also use it in conjunction with Carmel. Or if your opponent just activates a card that special summons from graveyard or something, or moves the card out of graveyard, you can chain this and still get your guys. Next, non-engine. A big reason why I want to play this deck is because the amount of non-engine it can play and the type of non-engine it can play. So here we have 3 Imperm, 3 Ash, pretty standard. This deck can play Shifter, has been the best hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh for the longest. If your deck can facilitate playing Shifter, you play Shifter. It said one should be banned, but it ain't. So I'm playing it. Next, we can play Dominus Purge. I think if your deck can play a Dominus card, it is a super plus super bonus. Sorry if you guys hear my daughter whining in the background. Listen, I can't do nothing about it. That's what she do. But yes, Dominus Purge, really good. If your opponent activates the effect that it would add a card from deck to hand, you can play this from your hand if they control the card to negate that effect. And if you have a trap card in your graveyard, you can destroy that card as well, which is amazing. If you activate it from your hand, it turns you off from light, not dark. It turns you off from dark, fire, and water attribute effects for the rest of the duel. But as you can see, all of our monsters are light. Only conflicting cards we play is the new Exosister Carmel, which we will talk about in a second, Typhon, and Albion. But with those cards being in the extra deck, it's much easier to facilitate like the downside of Dominus Purge. Next, we have 3 Fualos, of course, 3 Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. This was Valor, my very, very first iteration of this deck. But with Radiant Typhoon, Valor cannot interact with those monsters that they summon in the draw phase. Ghost Mourner can. So that's why we're on Ghost Mourner. And then we have Bale. Bale's just solid card. Now, to the extra deck. We have 3 Michaelis. Michaelis is probably the most important card in your extra deck. You can detach a material from it to search for Exosister Spell or Trap. So it's either gathering Pax or Betrayal or one of these, depending on what your hand is like. And on the turn that it is summoned, it can target. It can quick effect banish a card on the field that you target on your opponent's side of the field that you target. Only on the turn that it's summoned though. Very important. So that's really good for like breaking boards as well. That banish effect. Here we have Carmel. This is your new Exosystem monster. This is the only one that's not generic, I believe. Yes. This card is your Omni Negate for a monster or a normal spell or trap. So it doesn't negate. What it does is change the effect to add a card from your opponent's graveyard to their hand. So let's say your opponent activates a card, you change this effect, it changes the effect to that, and then your opponent chooses a card from your graveyard to add back to your hand. And then if you have your baby extra sisters on the board, that will trigger them to rank up into your very powerful XYZ monsters. Super good card. These 2 cards, custom. This one, I do think Betrayal is the best one out of both of them because of the consistency it gives you. But this card's crazy. Both these cards are super crazy, super custom. The reason why I feel like this deck is playable and has a spot in at least rogue category of the meta. We have Casper Tail. This one prevents your opponent from special summoning monsters. Prevents both players to special summon the monsters from the graveyards on the turn it is summoned as a lingering effect. And you can detach one material to add a monster. Magnifica is like your big boss. Two rank 4 Exosister monsters, what it requires as a non-target banish quick effect. And you can use this when your opponent activates a card effect. You can special summon. You can essentially special summon a material that's under it by swapping places. So Magnifica will become the material, and then whatever rank 4 that was under it, you summon. Essentially, that's essentially what all that text says. Here we have a Sophiel. This is your Abyss Dweller. I think if you're gonna play Rogue deck, I think it needs to have decent matchups into the top decks of the format, which I think Exosister does have at least a decent matchup into a lot of decks in the format. The top decks, excuse me. Oh, about to sneeze. I'm good. And I think it has to do something unfair. And Asofio is the unfair part. Excuse me, guys. Asofio is the unfair part. Abyss Dweller is banned for a reason. So if your deck can play an Abyss Dweller, your deck's doing something right. And Asofio is just that, an Abyss Dweller. The turn of the summon, neither player can activate card effects in the graveyard. And you can this part's not a quick effect, but you can detach a material from it to target a monster on the field and banish it, or your opponent's field and banish it. Not banish it, bounce it, excuse me. Then we have Jabreen. Jabreen is how I go for game a lot of the times. And it's also if you special summon it on your opponent's turn, or the turn is summoned, it's a imperm, which can come up, does come up sometimes. But the card, the effect I use the most is the detach material from it, and all Xyz monsters you control will gain 800 attack. Next we have Zeus, just really good in the XYZ deck. Sometimes it comes up. We have Typhon again. Sometimes it comes up. And then the two targets for our Fallen and the Virtuous. Yes, so this is the deck. A couple things I want to point out. Some profiles I've seen are siding Vadis, which I did test out. Not playing Vadis in the main. I didn't really like it that much. I felt like my board was getting broken a lot by not having Vadis. Vadis is just a card that if resolves increases your ceiling a lot to win games. So that's why I like playing it. And then because I'm playing Vadis, I am playing Irene. Now, Irene sucks. Irene is not a good Yu-Gi-Oh card. It doesn't do anything on its own. Even its draw effect is kind of buns. You got to put back an Exosister card, then draw one. Cheeks, bad card. But the reason I play it is because both Martha and Stella mention Ellis, and because Ellis is really good on her like in your hand as an extender if you control the Exosystem monster. Ellis gets abused a lot, and you can easily run out of Ellis by turn two. So let's say I'm not playing Irene. 'Cause I do think Sophia is worth playing because it is a free draw if you control the Exosister monster other than itself. But let's say I wasn't playing Irene. Excuse me. Let's say I go Martha fake special summon from hand. So that's special summon Ellis from deck. That's one. Let's say I open the Ellis and I have the normal summon Stella, special summon Ellis like that. That's two Ellis. And then I have Vadis set for my opponent's turn, and I have to summon a Stella and an Ellis. That's all three of my Ellis done by turn two. So by the time it gets back to my turn on turn three, my Marthas aren't as good because I don't have Ellis to summon. And I have one Stella left. Like I just think not playing. If you're gonna play Valis in the main, you have to play Irene in the main, so you don't burn through all your like good resources. But with that being said, this card stinks. I understand. So if you don't want to, I get it. I think it's worth playing, but yes, card is booty but buns. Right. Next, let's talk about some of the matchups. Oh, I'm sorry. So let's go over the side deck. Two Droll, whatever. It's Droll. Um, I don't even have to give my opinions on Droll. I don't think it should be banned. I think Droll is a. I know people hate when people say necessary evil, but I think that's exactly what Droll is. Retaliancy for Draco Tail, Perulia for the K9 decks, and for Radiant Typhoon. They have Dimensional Fisher, hits Draco Tail, hits Yummy, um, White Forest. Yeah, I think it's pretty good against White Forest as well, which is another deck that comes up. A Duster for like just random for like back row decks to like against Radiant Typhoon, like bet out one of their MSTs. And another card, the card I play for going first is Forbidden Crown. I like this card a lot. I've been testing with it, and I like it a lot. I think it's like really good against Yummy, for, like Radiant Typhoon, like their normal summon. You force them to have an extender, and then you have interactions like Returnia for the extender, or even Carmel, because if their extender is Marshmallow, they activate Marshmallow effect in hand, because it does activate, and you can Carmel change the effect to prevent it. So I think that's super. I think that's really good. I really have been enjoying this deck a lot. This card a lot. Excuse me. So let's talk about some. Let's talk about the matchup. Let's go Draco. Let's talk about Draco Tail a bit first. I think this deck has a really good Draco Tail matchup. I don't think you're like. You're not like super favored. I think about Exosister. I don't think it's like. If it's like a really graveyard centric deck, then yes, I think it's super favored. But like, to be honest with you, Dexter just better than Exosister. So I do think Exosister takes a good pilot and good matchups, and I think Draco Tail it's one of those matchups that this deck can really thrive against because of a Soulfield. Like a Soulfield turns off all of their graveyard effects. They won't get their Pan Pop. They won't get their Urgula Pop. Their Malulu Negate. They won't get to set their traps or their spells from graveyard depending on how they play it. And I think that's really good. Again, we play Shifter. This deck doesn't have many plays, if any, into Shifter. And then post side, we're gonna have Shifter, Retaliating Sea, and Dimensional Fissure. So I think that bodes really well for this deck into Draco Tail. Something that's very good. So that's the big reason why with the popularity of Draco Tail, the popularity of Draco Tail was a big factor in me wanting to play this deck. As you guys know, I won't say was. I am a Draco Tail player. I really love Draco Tail deck. I got my first regional win with Draco Tail. But I'm not playing it currently right now at the moment because I don't want to play Hella Mirrors, if I'm being honest. And also because I'm not dropping $80 on the Fall on the White Dragon. I'm not doing that. Not right now. Next, we can talk about Radiant Typhoon. I can't type. Radiant. There we go. Radiant Typhoon. Now, here we go. This is another matchup. Now, this matchup it can be tough, I will say. They don't have a lot of cards that them playing around your graveyard interaction gimmick can be pretty easy. Like I know what is it? Ponix and Vibrant Vortex can special summon from the graveyard, but they don't have to. So I feel like my game plan against this is always try to keep MST out of their grave. Like going first against my goal is to keep MST out of their graveyard. This deck plays a fair amount of back row, which I think bodes really well forward into the Radiant Typhoon matchup. Which I know sounds kind of counterintuitive because they play 3 MST, but if you have back row, like they don't get the free special summon, and then if you can keep MST out of their graveyard by banishing it with Returnia, and then Returnia, 9 times out of 10 my inboard is Returnia, Orvatis, Carmel, and Michaelis. Like I rarely make Magnifica on my turn 1. Like if I have to take Carmel off my field to make Magnifica turn 1, I won't do it. Because I don't want to get Nib. This deck can get cooked by Nib if you let it cook you. Don't let it cook you. But anyway, so I Returnia, banish MST, then use Returnia to overlay these guys into Magnifica. And then Magnifica will try to banish another MST if they get to it. And then all while maintaining my back row to try to keep them from getting their free special summons. If you cut them off from their free special summons, I think it's really tough. Because I don't think they can do much with just one normal summon. And then next deck, we have... And then I will have gameplay against these decks fairly soon for you guys. But I just want to get the video out, get you guys feedback. You know, get a video out there for you guys. I put Vanquish K9. Vanquish Soul K9, not gonna lie, pray. I don't know who you pray to, but whoever you pray to, talk to them. Because this deck is tough. I think this deck is tough for anything, for anybody, against any deck. Maybe outside of, I guess, a Yummy variant because they can like Book of Moon and K9 cards, which is very good. But this deck is hard, bro. Like it's super hard. It's hard. Not impossible. Like I have had success against in testing against this deck. I believe I have a replay I can show you guys. I got to go back and look, but I will get all those uploaded for you guys. But I feel like you rely like heavily on your non-engine against this deck, like your hand traps. But then when you rely heavily on your hand traps, you have to deal with the K9 cards. So I think your best tool against Vanquish Soul K9 is knowing the matchup and navigating it like that. which sounds like yeah, duh, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. We have to do that against every deck. But yeah, sometimes this deck can just high roll you. Like sometimes they can just open go in second. They can open their Holly Sue or and the attributes. Sometimes you lose to Izuna um, going in going into Valon booking one of your monsters. Depending on how you open up, like it can be rough. It can be tough. Not impossible, but tough. I think this is the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Vanquish K9 does you do get help because it does have a bit of consistency issues, which good. Same thing with Radiant Typhoon, but if this deck plays is if like this deck plays and gets set up, yeah, like Snow Devil wiping your like what do you do? Like if they Snow Devil you at the right time, like it's bro. Like I don't know, but yeah, that's probably the toughest match. I won't say toughest, but that's one of the harder matchups. What else are people playing? Malice, the Malice matchup is awkward. They ban White Bonder, and I love Malice. Malice one of my favorite decks. I thought it was gonna be dead after this, after the White Bonder ban. It's not. You have to be very particular against in your Malice matchup because all of your removal is banishment for the most part. Like all your engine removal, like of course you have to follow in a virtuous, but like this Malice doesn't care about this deck, about this card, doesn't care about this one. The Vadis removal is banishing, so you got to be careful with that. I typically try to trigger like their bridge monsters or a Malice monster that's already been banished. Um, but like, yeah, it's tough. It's weird. It's not tough. Like I mean, Malice is a good deck. Malice is still a good deck. Dominus Impulse, them being able to play Dominus Impulse is fine. It's good. Like it's good against this deck, good against Martha. But like it's dual. It's just you just have to be very particular about how you use your banishing interactions into Malice. Is there a big weakness of this deck? Like this deck isn't that weak into Droll. Um, like it can be depending on your hands, but most of the time it's not. One thing you can do to play around Droll is with your Michaelis add. Instead of adding Betrayal first, you want to add packs first. Because if they do have Droll, you can chain packs, and then you can at least search your trap card for interaction or your armament. So your first you don't want your first search to be Betrayal if you can help it, because like Droll cooks you. You can't even activate Betrayal under Droll because the ad is mandatory. It cooks you. A super big weakness that this deck has is super poly. All your monsters are light. All the monsters are gonna be on your field of light outside of Carmel. Like all your Exosisters are light spellcasters. Your Ichiki Seirihime as a fairy, but it's also light, so they get mud dragoned. So that can be really tough. So super probably can hurt this deck a lot. Uh, I think this deck is pretty solid into the Charmies, like Fu Wallows. If your opponent has Wallows, they're gonna chain into your Martha. If you go Martha chain link one, for Wallows chain link two. You do typically depending on most of the time I give them two draws. You get one for the Martha, and then one when I overlay into Carmel. Carmel is gonna set one of my traps for interaction. Hopefully, I can back it up with some hand traps or something. The thing about that is, you cannot use Carmel's effect to change the effect of a card if you don't have anything in your graveyard because there's nothing for them to add back, and this doesn't detach for cost to detach it for effect. So keep that in mind. But into Fua, it's pretty much the same thing. Not for I mean, into Perulia, they're dropping in standby, and if you have Martha, you give them one draw actually. But yeah, like I will have gameplay. I do have like replays that I can look through and get some gameplay for you guys against those top meta decks, the Radiant Typhoons, the Vanquish Soul Canine, and the Draco Tail. And I will have live games for you guys where I play it like I talk to you guys as I'm playing it and go through my mindset and my mental, all that good stuff. But I want to get a video out for you guys. I miss making these videos. But yeah, this is I appreciate you guys. I do want you guys' feedback in the comment section about the list, about some tips, some pointers you have, some of your experiences playing this deck. I will say, um, what am I about to say? I'm only testing with cards on DB that I have in real life because again, I'm trying to play it in a regional in real life. So like cards like Seven Tachyon, I understand can be really good in here, but I don't have seven Tachyon, and I don't play Prosperity. I was before. I'm not playing it now because with the addition of the Fallen the Virtuous in these cards in the extra deck, it kind of makes it awkward. Like make your banishes awkward, and I don't want to just banish for 3 because if I activate Prosperity, I need it, and I want to do it for 6. But anyway, guys, back to the outro. I appreciate you guys for still rocking with me. I know it's been a while. We are back in this Bravo YGO signing off. Peace.